Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Joe, and if you guys haven't subscribed to me yet, please do, and don't forget to hit that notification bell while you're at it. So today is a video just to follow up to a day in the life of a radio announcer that I did a couple of months back. I know that I haven't been here for quite a while, and I know that I always say that, but with all of those things rather aside, hey, what's up? I'm back. So today we're going to talk about public speaking. It's a common question that I always get from my friends, from my colleagues, and a lot of you guys. And today we're going to tackle a lot of that. So siguro just a disclaimer. I know I need to tell this, I need to say this because it's very important for you guys to understand that some of the tips that I have may differ from everyone else's. My journey or my tips or even yung steps ko may differ from everyone else. In the radio industry, in the, excuse me, in the events world, or in the voice actor world. It's a lot different. But hey, sana makatulong tong mga tips na to sa inyo. Without further ado, hey, let's start. I think a lot of you guys know that I did not grow up here. Let's save that for a different video, I guess. So, I did study in a Filipino school. So, lahat ng tao doon marunong mag-Tagalog. A lot of people are actually surprised that I still do know how to speak in Tagalog. But, natuto na lang talaga ako mag-English when I came here in the Philippines. Although, I do nagsispeaker naman ako ng English having to study abroad, but it's different when I came here in the Philippines. When I studied here nung third year ako, a lot of my classmates were speaking in English fluently. So, doon na lang talaga ako nag-adjust. So, and then, gradually, natuto lang ako mag-English. I would always speak to my classmates in that language. And then, doon na lang ako nasanay na naging mahusay mag-English talaga. English rather. And tip number 1 is to practice. Practice some of the words that you are not familiar with. I always loved to read the dictionary. I know that's a common thing to say, but I love reading the dictionary. I love trying to learn new words and incorporate them with whatever sentence that I make. Hi, ate. So sabihin natin nauutal ka. Oh, malalim pa yung Tagalog ko talaga. Nauutal ka sa isang word in English, and the best way to study them or to get comfortable around them is to repeat them as much as you can. I've had a couple of words growing up that I super duper hate. Sobrang nirepeat ko lang talaga siya, and that's how I was able to use them comfortably now. Like for example, comfortable. I mean, pwede mo naman sabihin comfortable kung dun ka komportable, but I was just comfortable in saying comfortable. But you can use comfortable, whichever you really like. There are a lot of English words that I cannot say then, so it's very important to look it up on the dictionary, look it up on Google if it's the best way to pronounce it. So yun, one of the trainings then for us with radio announcers is that we become very OC or jarring for us when we say words that are not the way that you're supposed to pronounce them, especially on air, or especially when you're doing a podcast or you're speaking to someone in the English native language. It's very important for us to know that we pronounce things right. So don't worry, ako din may mga nasasabi din ako mga words na hindi tama. I say it on air. Tapos, my partner before, Chris, hey, what's up? I miss you. Si Chris from Mellow 94.7 would always try to correct me with the words that I don't say right. So tip number 2, always have that one person who you know na magko-correct sa'yo. And have that open communication na. Or if you hear something that I pronounced differently or pronounced ng mali, mas okay na you have that someone with you. I have a lot of friends who would send me their captions and then tatanong nila kung tama yung grammar or kung tama ba yung sinabi. Even my sister and I would always ask each other na, tama ba yun? Tama ba yung spelling ko ng modeling? Sometimes yung mga spelling in English na parang feeling mo, yun naman talaga yung tama. But then you kind of look at it and read it again and then you kind of feel like mali pala siya. Tip number 3 is to watch and listen to a lot of English native speakers. Ganun talaga ako natuto. I was always listening to people who I knew were really good with the English language. I would listen to podcasts, not much when I was younger, but I would watch movies rather, na sobrang mahilig kasi ako sa idioms growing up, and I would love to use them in sentences. Ganun talaga ako natuto. So, tip number 3 again is to watch a lot of movies, listen to podcasts, and repeat them in your sentences. I love watching movies, especially yung mga, like for example, one example would be Suits. So sa Suits, napakarami nilang idioms. One example would be, oh, the ball is in your court. Or Insidious, sabi niya, I'm feeling a little under the weather. May mga ganong idioms or phrases that I'd love and I would steal, and then I would use them in sentences. Doon ako natuto. And I would use them talaga in the next sentence or in the next conversation that I would have for that day. Or I would use them in texts or messages, captions. The best way for you to learn them is to repeat them as well. You kind of see na yung mga tips ko medyo they would connect to each other. So, nung una, when I was using, I'm a little bit under the weather. I mean, normally, you won't use that in a sentence, diba? Like, I'm a little under the weather. Diba parang sobrang social mo naman? But like, that's how you learn. It's these words that you rarely use in conversation. Even in Tagalog, it's these words that you rarely use in conversations. Dun ka natututo, dun ka nahahasa. Oh, deep Tagalog. dun ka humahasa yung pananalita mo sa Tagalog or sa English man yan. Even if you don't use it, or even if people would scoff at you na parang, under the weather. Sinasabi nila. Ito ka talaga matututo. So, be comfortable in using these sentences talaga. Diba? Like, it's that open mind to learning and using these sentences. So again, tip number 3, listen to podcasts, watch a lot of movies, and then grab those phrases that you don't normally use and then incorporate them. Ulit mo lang siyang sabihin. Always look up for synonyms. To other people, sa totoo lang, synonyms can be just an additive to whatever you're saying. Parang dagdag eme lang siya with captions, but it's also the best way for you to learn new words. So I always have, growing up, I always have a dictionary with me. I think mga maliliit na dictionary that I bought. Sometimes I would go over them and just like look up different words that I was just not used to, or even Merriam Dictionary. I know that there's also online dictionaries that you guys can use. So why not, diba? Gamitin mo yung mga yun and just incorporate them in sentences, use them in captions. As much as possible, use them as much as you can para doon ka natututo talaga. Some people say that I do have an accent. When I went into radio, doon daw ako nagkaroon ng accent. I guess partially that's true. Kasi when you're in the radio industry, you meet a lot of these people who speak the English language impeccably. Kasi sobrang gagaling talaga nila mag-English talaga dun sa radio industry, and you kinda na-adapt mo siya. Like say when you're in a different country, or nasa Batangas ka, or like you're out of, yung meron silang punto, may mga accent sila, na-adapt mo kasi yung mga accent na yun the same way that I did. The reason for this is you have to also surround yourself with people who can speak the English language talaga. Siyempre, hindi naman lahat ng pamilya or lahat ng friends are open to this. They would sometimes say like, uy, ba't ka nag-i-English? Ganyan. Uy, English. So I feel like it's that open communication then to tell them na, I'm trying something new, I'm trying something ganito. Kasi tayo mga Pinoy, medyo ganun parang, oh, ba't ka nag-i-English? Hello, feeling naman ito. So yung mga ganun. So, importante talaga to have your sister, your family, or your mom, or someone really close to you now who's open to these things, to be able to be comfortable with the language. Kasi if they're always English shaming you, if that's a word, if that's a term, it's going to be difficult for you to learn. Although there are a lot of words, there are a lot of other ways to know how to speak English, but it's different when you're practicing it. How do you shy away from stuttering? Medyo makikita mo pag nag-Instagram story sila or nag-YouTube vlog sila, medyo naririnig mo na medyo nahihirapan silang mag-English. But that's okay. Kasi, hindi naman din kasi talaga ganun kadali matuto, mag-shift to languages. The same way that I don't know how to speak Nihongo. The same way that I don't know how to speak in Korean. And you guys won't expect me to learn Korean, tapos have that full-on accent, the same way that we all shouldn't expect our vloggers and our influencers, our content creators to learn the English language or to have that perfect accent immediately, diba? So, I guess validate them because you know that they're also trying. So how do you stop yourself from stuttering? It's that practice again. Siguro some of these tips talaga we always go back to a couple of the ones that I've mentioned earlier. So it's really repetitiveness. It's really allowing yourself to look sometimes stupid with the language. Ganun talaga di ba? Hindi mo naman din maasahan yung mga Amerikano na marunong agad mag-Tagalog, 'di ba? Kaya nga yung mga favorite nating mga artistas, 'di ba? Mahal ko kayo, and then pinagtatawa na natin. So it's the same way with mga Pinoys. Tayo lang talaga we just it's just us. It's just us Pinoys. So if you really want to learn the language, you really have to have a good support system rin. I think that's number one. That's like the number one rule. My sister mentioned kung walang support system. Yeah, again, I mentioned na parang, you can learn the English language in a lot of different ways. You can do it online. You can do it by yourself. Some people are fond of, thanks ate. Some people are fond of practicing with tongue twisters. Sabi ko pa kanina, tongue breakers, no? Tongue twisters. And I know a few people in the radio industry, rather, who would practice a couple of tongue twisters before they go on air. But I wasn't able to pick this habit up. I did it a few times, to be honest. But you can try it out too. There are a lot of tongue twisters online that you guys can try out. Nung una, hindi rin ako ganito kagaling mag-English talaga. Partner from Mellow 94.7, Chris, hey! Trained me before na to rewire my brain. Every time that I want to speak in English, parang tinatranslate ko pa siya in here. I was translating it in here and it was so hard to translate that. Hindi siya masyadong sanay, hindi siya ganun kabilis. So I was trained by him na, hey, let's try to speak in English more. And para lang at least when you're trying to speak in English, hindi mo na siya tinatranslate. Mas easier for you to just blurt out everything without even having to translate it up here. And then, a couple of months with training with him, naging ganito na. Mas naging komportable na ako na. Sometimes I even, pag nag-i-English ako, mas tinatranslate ko pa siya in Tagalog now. So, nabaliktad ko siya. So, again, repetitiveness with that. Like, I can speak in Tagalog forever. Like, I can do that. Pero mas komportable lang talaga ako to explain myself in English. I don't think this was like a public speaking video. I think it's more of how to comfortably speak in English. Sorry, guys. I didn't really write this down. Hopefully, you guys take notes and sana matuto kayong mas maging komportable sa pagsasalita ng English. If you guys have any more questions, just let me know. It's down below. And yeah, if you guys are new here, my name is Jo. And if you guys haven't subscribed to me yet, please do and hit that notification bell while you're at it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace and love.